Mathur has also joined. So great to see you, Mathur Saab.
और सब ठीक है?
All fine, sir. Great to see you after a gap.
हाँ, बस मैंने कहा चलो थोड़ी देर
Great to see you. So,
Good evening, Madhur sir.
हाँ, good evening. How are you?
I'm
नमस्कार.
fine. Namaskar.
Matra is also there, Director of the School of Management Sciences. So now it is 6:30. Here we go. Welcome everyone. I am Rajiv Pradhan on behalf of Lucknow Management Association. I welcome Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee, who is from Relaxo, and also welcome our esteemed members along with young managers from School of Management Sciences. We also welcome the Director of the School of Management Sciences, Mr. Manoj Mehrotra, for this session. So everyone, I can see our members also, Mr. Neeraj Kapoor, Dr. Vibhuti Gupta, and few more. So today we have this session on new talent acquisition, recruitment procedures in corporate by Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee. It is my privilege to introduce Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee before you. A little about him. Nilanjan is a young HR professional who has experience in renowned MNCs and Indian companies. He is the recipient of the Rising HR Star of the Year Award and the Corporate Mentor Award, as well as multiple other awards and accolades. As alumnus of IIM Lucknow and IMT Ghaziabad, he is also a famed guest speaker who has addressed to more than 18,000 professionals, students and faculty members on principles of success and multiple other topics. He has also one book to his credit known as You Will Succeed. And for this, he also received a special recognition award for Relaxo's management for this book. He has also participated in socio-economic forums on news channels. He is part of the academic and advisory board member of management institutions, and he holds multiple degrees, diplomas, and certifications. On the personal front, he
The sound is gone.
प्रधान साहब आप म्यूट हो गए, अनम्यूट करिए.
So this was about Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee. Thank you, Mr. Sam. I hope I am audible now.
Yes.
So now this was about Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee. Please mute yourself, everybody. I'll request everybody, and I'll advise Saurabh also to please take care of the things. No voice should be allowed in between when the speaker speaks. So now I hand it over to Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee for his session. Over to Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I hope everybody is able to listen to me.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Yeah. So today, this is my proud privilege. This is the second occasion where I am, delivering a session for LMA. My earlier session with LMA was on 7 pillars of success 3 years back. It was a physical session wherein I met Mr. Rajiv Pradhan. I met Arun Mathur sir on that day. And this is my second occasion. I met Mr. Manoj Mehrotra. Earlier, I met him in SMS main campus in Lucknow 3 years back. And this is the another occasion when I am meeting. So I believe today we have today we have 70 people already. A round of applause, good number. So we have a mix of batch today. We have young students also, as well as experienced professionals. Okay, so my topic will also be for a mixed kind of audience, wherein I will be addressing some portion of it for my students, and as well as those who are professionals. So it will be a mix of the new recruitment practice, and I'm sure that each and every one of you, after attending this session, will get to have some new takeaways. Okay, so let me start with the session. Why especially this screen is especially for my students, that why we need a head start right now. My dear brothers and sisters, we need a head start because there are 20 IIMs, 7 IITs, 15 top tier MBA colleges. Okay, so the competition is intense. the employable skills, it is a factor that 60% of the recruiters feel that the right candidates are not available. 75% says that there is a lack of communication, and 60% of them are not using analytics to justify what they do, how they do, when they want to do it. Now, in employment outlook, there is a hiring decline by 50% year on a year basis since April 2020. And then problem related to talent acquisition is that 86% of the corporate sites, travel, efforts, cost, internal approvals, unable to travel to tier 2, tier 3 cities. So these are all the challenges, which today's students are facing. And traditional methods of job preparation is no longer working. So now let me take you through how talent acquisition as a concept has evolved in last 15-20 years. Okay. So this is how Tenali Chacha is recruiting. So who is Tenali Chacha? So actually 15 years back when I went to Delhi, like any other fellow colleague or student, or friend, I was also a forced bachelor, and my parents were there in Lucknow and I was here in Noida. So when I started my first job, so I thought that my cooking was not good. So out of every 5 to 6 days of working, 4 days I used to eat at Tenali Chacha's outlet. Now he had a wonderful cart, and in this cart he used to make idli, bada sambar, very nice, very crisp, and very hygienic at the same time. So one day, I was eating masala dosa, and I found that there was a young man who came to him and he asked him that, uncle, ये मेरे पास 10 रुपए हैं, कुछ मिल जाएगा आपके पास? And he said, हाँ, बड़ा सांबर मिल जाएगा. So those days, 15 years back, 10 rupees was good amount. Means even today in 2025, you can find something, street food. So he gave 10 rupees and this person gave him bada sambar. And he was also eating. And then he said, अंकल आपकी हाथ में तो शफा है, लेकिन आपको मुझे लगता है मदद के लिए किसी की जरूरत पड़ेगी. मतलब इतना बड़ा ठेला आप चला रहे हैं, अकेले कैसे मैनेज करेंगे? तो एंड देन तेनाली चाचा सेड कि आजकल अच्छे लोग मिलते कहाँ हैं, यू डोंट गेट गुड पीपल नाउ डेज. तो उसने बोला, हम मैं हूं ना, आई एम देयर. तो तुम क्या करोगे? तो उसने बोला कि मैं पटना रेलवे स्टेशन के बाहर बहुत बढ़िया चीला बनाता था, अगर आप मुझे मौका देंगे तो मैं यहाँ बना के दिखाता हूँ. तो उन्होंने कहा चलो बना के दिखाओ. और उन्होंने 5 मिनट के अंदर, उस बच्चे ने 5 मिनट के अंदर इतना बढ़िया डोसा बनाया. ही वॉज वेरी हैप्पी. ही सेड ओके, यू आर सेलेक्टेड, कल से अभी से काम शुरू कर दो. आई विल गिव यू 7,500. आई विल गिव यू 7,500. एक टाइम, दो टाइम का खाना, रोटी, कपड़ा. हाँ, उसने बोला कि मेरे पास रहने को छत नहीं. बोला आई विल गिव यू, यू कैन स्टे विथ मी. So here, for the first time in my life, I was witnessing an unorganized sector का interview कैसे होता है. So there the interview happens at a rate of trust, speed at a rate of trust. And now from this, और उस वक्त ये बहुत बड़ा अमाउंट था. अब धीरे धीरे देखिए, ये बॉटमिस्ट ऑफ द पिरामिड में इस तरह से रिक्रूटमेंट होता है. उसके बाद अब नया मेथड क्या आ गया है? नया मेथड आ गया है सरल रोजगार कार्ड. नाउ टेक महिंद्रा. Tech Mahindra is a very big company. They realize that the people at the bottom of the pyramid, they are very, very, they don't get jobs so easily. For example, people who are gardener, electrician, plumber, so these kind of people, they don't get job easily, and neither such jobs are, posted on any of the website. Newspaper ads are very primitive. So what should we do? So Tech Mahindra came with this wonderful thing. They have a Saral Rojgar card. And on backside of the card, when you scratch it, there is a number. So what you need to do is just go and buy this Saral Rojgar card. Okay, you just scratch this, and when you scratch this, there will be a number. Just call, dial this number 9266911235. When you do that, then you can choose the language, your preference. That is Hindi, Bangla, Odia, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, whatever language you feel like. The moment you choose, your call will land up to that particular agent, and that particular agent will ask you that, okay, if you are what kind of job you are looking for. The moment you will say, for example, I am looking for an electrician job, so a template of electrician will be in front of that computer operator. He will very quickly ask you about your name, your date of birth, your address, and they will listen to you, and they're very fast. They will type very fast. Within 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes, your CV will be ready with them. And now, do you know what will happen? Now, these big companies who are always in need of manpower, and especially at the bottom of the pyramid, they are now calling Tech Mahindra. They are now signing up contract with Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra, what they will do is that the moment, if, for example, if I as an organization XYZ, I have, let's say, requirement of electrician, I will simply call them that I have requirement of electrician. Now, Tech Mahindra will record a IVRS message, interactive voice response message. This message will go to each and every people who are tagged with electrician job, and they will get a call like this, that there is a position of electrician in this particular company. If you are interested, press 1. If you're not interested, press 2. The moment he will press 1, their CV will automatically go to that particular company's recruiter. Now just imagine what a beautiful system. And that recruiter can download an Excel sheet, all the application in an Excel sheet format. He can slice and dice the data, and then he can call whoever is the best suited candidate. So just imagine how recruitment has evolved for these bottom of the pyramid positions. From there, now let's talk about what is the new hiring method in India. Since last 15 years, job portal has taken the first priority. More and more companies are now looking for candidates through job portal. Okay, and out of all the job portal market which is there in India, Naukri.com is at the highest slot, followed by Monster and various other job portals. So for the young students, I recommend that the more your CVs, the more number of places your CVs are there, the higher is your probability of getting a job. From here, let me take you to the next slide. Next is, nowadays what is happening is that more and more companies are focusing on internal job posting. Earlier, internal job posting used to happen very rigorously in a public sector, because earlier public sector, somebody who joins in production at a later stage, he could be in purchase, at a later stage, he could be in HR or any other domain. Slowly and steadily, then private organization also chipped in this process. And now more and more companies are doing this thing wherein they are posting the job in their own portals, and they are giving first preference to those applicants who are in-house applicant. Now, what is the advantage of this? The advantage of this is that when a job is posted, then if you hire somebody internally, then 70% of the job is already done. Why? Because that person is already aware about your culture, about the environment of the organization. Now, with just a little bit of training, that person can be very, very fruitful. And in a global talent trend survey, which was done in 2020, wherein more than 7,000 professionals were interviewed, 96% of them have confirmed the benefit of this globally. And companies are witnessing an increase by 10% year on year. Now, there are some other new age methods, where what companies are now using. The first is chatbots. So what is chatbots? My dear brothers and sisters, till now you might have heard about chatbots. Chatbots till now are being used by CRM companies. What are CRM? Customer Relationship Management related companies. So those companies who are into the service domain, they were using chatbot. For example, if you have taken an insurance policy, if you have any question with respect to your insurance policy, or let's suppose if you are a customer of an electrical company, wherein your electricity supply is coming from some company, they were using this CRM based chatbots, wherein you used to simply write your policy number or your consumer number, and followed by any question you would like to ask them, you used to simply type it and you would have got an answer from the chatbot. So chatbot had already installed frequently asked questions. Okay, and this frequently asked question used to pop up the moment a particular question used to trigger. So now recruitment firms, recruitment companies are also using these chatbots. So what happens is that, for example, let's assume that I have got 500 application for a given position. Now I would like to do the initial screening. So instead of me doing the initial screening, what happens is that the chatbots does the initial screening. Now this chatbot will send a message to all the people who have applied. Okay, and for example, if there is a position of area sales manager, now this area sales manager will get a question. Will get a question from. I would request all of you to unmute, please. Only my mic should be on unmute. Yeah. So yeah. So for example, if there is an area sales manager, then the chatbot will ask the area sales manager that what was your turnover in the last year? How many distributors you have appointed in last financial year or last 3 financial year? Okay, what was the sales you generated? Now, out of all these questions will go to the recruiter. Now, recruiter will be able to slice and dice the data based on the responses he have got, and then in this fashion, he will be able to share. He will be able to do justice to the position he is hiring for. Then the next thing is about use of artificial intelligence. Now there are many companies, what they do is they are using artificial intelligence. In this artificial intelligence, what happens is from wherever source the recruiter has got the CVs, he will upload those CV in a particular platform, and this particular artificial intelligence tool, what they do is that they had certain criteria given in their software. So they will allocate, for example, if there is a key skill match, then it will allocate 15 to 20%. If there is a location match, it will allocate some 5 to 10%. If there is job skill, domain skill, whatever, there are multiple skill pattern which are given for every match with respect to job description and your CV. It will allocate certain percentage, and at the end of the calculation, whichever CV scores the highest number of points in the match ranking index will be placed on the top. So the recruiter has to just look and interview the top 10 CVs, top 10, 20 CVs, and they will find their right guy. So this is the benefit of it. Now, another tool which I would like to tell you is about Alt Recruit. Alt Recruit is a tool made by People Strong. Now, People Strong is a company which is owned and managed by HR. They are from the HR fraternity. So this Alt Recruit has a very, very wonderful tool. And in this particular tool, what happens is that this particular tool can extract CVs from job portals like Naukri.com, like Monster. It can also attract CVs from Facebook, from LinkedIn, okay, from multiple channels. And after that, it also gives you a projection of percentage-wise your JD versus percentage-wise CV. Whichever CV is the highest resemblance to the job description, it fetches those CV. So it is a really wonderful tool, and each and every process of recruitment, from concept to commissioning, from the initial requisition making till the joining of the candidate, can be done in this application tracking system called Alt Recruit. So this is how the recruitment has evolved over a period of time. Now let me take you to the other things.
लाइट चली गई.
Everyone, please mute yourselves. Arshita, I request you to mute. Yeah, Mr. Naranjan, we are not able to hear you. Mr. Naranjan, can you hear me? I think there is some disconnect. क्या हुआ है? फिर से इन करेंगे, मैं कॉल पे कर. Mr. Nilanjan, we are not able to hear or see you. You are not visible, neither visible, not audible. We can't see on the screen.
So might be a slight network issue.
He may be back in few moments.
Should be. I'm dialing him also.
Students, all of you should be continuously on mute. And if you want to say something, you can put the questions in chat box if it is relevant.
Certainly. Meantime, they can raise their questions in chat box.
Yeah, and that should be relevant to the topic, right?
There seems to be some major issue of network. Hello. Sir, you are disconnected. Yes, Mr. Mukherjee is joining very shortly through his mobile. There's some issue with his Wi-Fi. He's joining through his mobile shortly. Meantime, I'm also facing some problem with my connection. I am also not, my camera is not working. I may be audible. My camera is not working at the moment. These are the glitches.
I think Mr.
Yeah,
Mukherjee
Mr. Mukherjee, yes, Mr. Mukherjee is back. Yeah. Welcome. Just carry on, Mr. Mukherjee, please. Yeah, Mr. Mukherjee, we can see you. And please carry on.
Yeah, Rajiv sir, am I audible?
Yeah. Now you are audible and visible also. Please carry on.
Okay. I guess my Wi-Fi is not working. I am on from my mobile. So
Right.
I would not be in a position to show my PPT, but I will explain you each and everything.
Please carry on.
So now the next thing, So now my brothers and sisters, the next thing which I wanted to tell you was about the cover letter. What is the importance of cover letter? So your resume has the power to get you an interview for your dream job. And the very same resume can be the reason for your dream job just to remain dream. Now, organization use the resume to shortlist potential candidate. Your resume is the virtual you. It speaks of your passions and career that you want to follow. Therefore, every resume should be accompanied with a cover letter. Now, earlier, the people used to make a cover letter, and that cover letter used to be in paragraphs. Nowadays, that is no longer required. You can make a cover letter in a tabular format. Now, and that format actually helps a lot. Why? Let me tell you. At a given point of time, a recruiter is working for more than 25, at times at 50 positions. So if a recruiter is working for more than 50 positions at a given point of time, you can imagine that in a day, whenever he is scrolling a CV, he has less than 60 seconds to select and shortlist one resume. As a result of which, if your cover letter is in a tabular format, which has your name, your address, your mobile number, your email, your qualification, your past companies, your present salary, expected salary, okay, and your key technical skills in a tabular format, then it becomes very, very easy for that particular recruiter, and he will be able to select your CV, shortlist your CV very quickly. Now, those of my brothers and sisters, young brothers and sisters who are from SMS Lucknow, now always remember that whenever you are appearing for your first job from your campus, never deviate from your campus format. Why? Because every recruiter who is going for a campus interview at your particular campus, he will see the cover letter which is given by your particular campus. And recruiters are very good. The moment they see a template, that templates get registered in their brain. As a result of which, if you change the format from that of your college format, then that recruiter will never appreciate. But yes, all those who are working professionals, okay, who are looking for another alternative or a new job, they can change their CV and make the cover letter in a tabular format, and that will result in very good, attractive proposition. Second, let me take you the second topic, and the second topic is the second topic is that what are the best practices for a winning resume? The best practices for winning resume is, number one, your CV should not be more than 1 to 2 pages. And your CV must contain an objective, educational details, your project, and your extracurricular activities. Now, some of you may say that why extracurricular activities is required. Let me tell you the reason. Sometime back, we were recruiting an officer production. We were recruiting GET, graduate engineer trainee. Now, these graduate engineer trainee, later in their career, what they had to do is they have to go on shop floor. And in the shop floor, they manage supervisors and they manage workers. So every recruiting company, when they go for a particular campus, what they do is they prepare a merit score. Yes, you heard it right. It is merit score. Now, how a merit score is prepared? A merit score is prepared by allocating certain percentage to your 10th, 12th, graduation, and post-graduation. For example, you will get 10% weightage on the percentage which you have got in class 10th, similarly 12th, graduation, post-graduation. So 10, 10, 10 marks each. If someone of you is an MBA student, then he will get 40 marks out of his academics. Similarly, 20 marks on communication skills, 20 marks on presentation skills, and 20 marks on the written aptitude and technical test you have performed. So this all sum total of these segregation makes it 100. So out of that 100, you will see that nowadays, whenever a recruiter will go to any campus, they will have a laptop in front of them. So in front of that laptop, they enter all these numeric equivalent, and then they shortlist. They simply use the filter or sort method, and then they get all the top students, all those students who are academically as well as in terms of their percentage, presentation skills, communication skill, and their written test wise good. And then they are called for the face-to-face interview. So this is a very, very important trick which I have told you. Now, what happens is, suppose if there are two students who have got similar marks, similar merit score, in that case, at time, the extracurricular activity becomes a deciding factor. Now, let me give you an example. So, there was a position wherein we were recruiting a graduate engineer trainee, and he had to work on a shop floor. So, we were going through the CV, and later we realized that there was one candidate, and this one candidate in past has led his football team, his cricket team, and his team in theater, school theater and dramatics. So what we took out the reference was, or inference was, that if a person is a leader in his academic and school life, then the same person, because a past behavior is an indicator of your future behavior. So if he is a leader who has shown leadership qualities in his school, during his academics, then he would be able to perform that in his job as well, and hence he got 5 additional bonus points, and he got selected in this. So at times, some of you might be good in short story writing. So if you don't write that, then you might not get selected in a content writing job or in a journalism kind of a job. Your extracurricular activities also at times played a very, very important role. So never forget that. Then, while making a CV, always ensure that an ideal font size is 10 or 12. Yes, the ideal font size is 10 or 12. Anything lesser or bigger than that does not make your CV good. Another thing which is very, very important is the moment you have made your CV or biodata or resume, whatever you may call it, show it to your best friend. Why? Because when your best friend will see, you will ask him that मेरे दोस्त मेरे CV को देखो और देख के ये बताओ और इसमें से ढूंढो गलतियां, जितनी गलती ढूंढ सकते हो वो ढूंढो. Why? Because when they will look with a very, very objective eye. They will try to figure out mistakes, and when you improve and make your resume mistake and error free, it will have a very, very higher probability of getting shortlisted. Some of you, what they do is that I have found that some of the students, they hide their academic percentage. When we ask them that why are you hiding, at times they say, sir, भूल गया कि 10th में क्या percentage था, 12th में क्या percentage था. My dear brothers and sisters, you cannot afford to forget your percentage in academics. Your percentage in academics plays a very, very vital role. And at time, there are institutions, there are organizations who are very, very particular, and they say that they require people with 60% and above, or 70% and above, or 80% and above. And in that case, if you are not mentioning your percentage, then you are wasting your and company's time. Now, let's move to the another subtopic called early preparation. How can you do early preparation for your next job? So this is both for freshers as well as for experienced candidates. So whenever young students, whenever you go for campus interview, at times what happened is on a given day, more than 5-6 companies come to your campus. Now it is practically not possible to remember each and every detail of the company where you are appearing for an interview. So what should you do in that case? So make a trivia of 10 most important questions. So what this trivia could be? This trivia could be the company for which you are appearing for interview. First question is, what was the year of incorporation of this company? This is question number 1. Question number 2, what is the turnover of the company? Question number 3, it is what is the profit after tax of this company, or what is the EBITDA, earning before income tax and amortization? Where all this company is located in India? What are the products or services this company is offering? What are the various sales vertical? Is it into domestic sale, international sales, e-commerce sales, or retail sales? What kind of sales it is? You mention these 8-9 questions, and you form a team of 4 to 5 students. And now what will you do? Suresh will give his notes to Umesh. Umesh will do research of other company, and you will exchange the note in between yourself. Now, just before entering the interview room on the campus interview date, you have to simply glance these 10 questions. And when you will glance it, you don't have to go through the entire website. You don't have to go through entire, their financial report. You have to just memorize these 10 most important questions, and you will be able to deliver a good answer. Second is go for set learning goals. Take proctored tests. There are free tests available, free aptitude tests available. Just go for it. And the most important thing is that read 1 to 2 books. This is both for those who are fresher as well as those who are experienced candidate. Read 1 or 2 books every week. Majority of the books which you should read should be of self-help book or business related book, which is absolutely related to your domain area. Now, some of you may say that Nilanjan, we generally don't get time to read books. So if you don't get time to read books, then you can download, apps such as Readable, Audible. These are the apps which has a lot of books. Or you can go and in YouTube, you can listen to audio books. Just imagine that if you have a job wherein you are traveling 2 hours, 1 hour while going to office and 1 hour while coming back to office, if you listen just 2 hours a day an audio book, then after the end of 1 year, you would have listened to 730 hours of books, as a result of which, after listening to 730 hours of audio books, you would be able to, you will be in the top 10, students of your batch, because you will have a plethora of knowledge and you have a over the. Yeah, I think somebody has raised a hand. If there is no question, I would like to address that at the end.
Please carry on. Please carry on.
Now the next topic, my brothers and sisters. So, my dear brothers and sisters, nowadays, whenever you appear for an interview, more and more reputed and good companies are making their decision based on the assessment centers. Now, in a 30 minutes of interview, or let's say 45 minutes of interaction, nobody can judge how a person is, because what you see in a person in a 30 to 45 minute interview is just a tip of the iceberg. Yes, it is just a tip of the iceberg, and majority of the person's belief, traits, motives in life is something which is very, very hard to understand. So as a result of which, now various companies have come up with many, many interview techniques. The first is called BEI, that is behavioral event interview. Now, what happens in a behavioral event interview? In a behavioral, what happens is that every organization has certain competencies. Now, what is competency? Competency is nothing but set of behaviors which are required for superior performance. Many organizations like Tata Group, JK Group, Infosys, Reliance, all big groups, they have made their own organizational competencies. They feel that if a person has these inherited competency already in them, then they will be much more successful in my organization. For example, in my organization, we have a competency, 5 competency called C-Care, that is collaboration, customer focus, adaptability, result orientation, and execution excellence. Various company will have various competency. Now, during the interview tries to find out that whether this person is displaying those competency. For example, suppose if you are appearing for an interview in a bank or a financial institution, they will have a competency called, let's say, honesty. Why? Because it is all about financial transactions. So if as a student, the interviewer asks you, when was the last time you have shown honesty? Then if a student tell them, give them a real life example that, sir, when I was in class 12, one day I found a wallet just outside my school. That wallet had 10,000 rupees in cash. And I realized that this could be one of my friend's father wallet. So I went and I deposited in my school administration department. Later on, my principal called me and he gave me a honesty certificate and a beautiful pen. He gave me this beautiful pen. Okay. So in this way, that particular person is taking you way in past, and he is trying to identify whether you have displayed that kind of a behavior in past, and that behavior will help me in this organization. So this is how it is done. Next is in-tray exercise. So what is an in-tray exercise? What happens is that this happens for both fresher as well as experienced candidates. So what will happen is that the company will give you a case study. In this particular case study, you will be made an CEO or managing director of a particular organization. There will be a case study that this is the company, this is the turnover, this is the present scenario, and you will be given 5 different topics to respond. So one could be related to sales, one could be related to purchase or supply chain or project management or civil engineering team or production. And so what happens is, in old days, where every top executive used to have both 2 trays in his office. One is in tray. In in-tray, all the new names used to come in hard copy format. And in out-tray, all those responses where the HOD or managing director has given approval, he used to take it out from in-tray and used to put it in out-tray. So hence it is called an in-tray exercise. So here the company sees that, have you understood the exact case study? How much time or emphasis you are giving in particular, response? For example, you have to choose that which problem is you need to give more emphasis, because you will have to solve everything within 30 minutes. So when you see a big ticket problem, you have to respond it in detail. When there is a smaller problem which is given to you in case study, in in-tray case study, you will have to give a lesser time in that. The another thing which happens very, very regularly nowadays is called presentation. So companies now, what they do is they ask the probable recruit or a new incumbent that you give me a presentation on this topic. So they allow you some time, you make a PowerPoint presentation, and then you show them this presentation. So they see that whether you have a systematic approach, whether you have an analytical thinking, whether you are putting everything in the right spectrum. Okay, so they see it like this. The fourth is role plays. So for example, let's assume that you have gone for an interview in a retail sector for a retail sales position. Then they will make you as well as another person, to do a role play wherein you will be customer, another could be the seller, or you could be seller, another could be customer. Okay, and they will see whether you have objectional handling capability, whether you have upselling skills, whether you can whether you can resolve a conflict. So these kind of things they see in role play. And the fifth and most important thing is that is called a headless group discussion. Now, what is a headless group discussion? Brothers and sisters, this is especially for the freshers. What happens is many a times after the written test, the companies bifurcate the management students in a group of 10 each, and they allocate 10 minutes and they throw a topic. For example, let's assume a topic. The topic is 2020 killing the spirit of cricket in India? Now this is the topic. There are 10 students who are there in this headless group discussion. In this, why I'm saying it is headless, because nobody is head. And what I have observed is that the student try to give answer all of them at a given point of time, as a result of which this entire discussion becomes a fish market and nobody is able to understand anything. My dear brothers and sisters, always remember that if there are 10 of you and there is only 10 minutes of group discussion, then just calculate in your mind that practically each and every one of you have just 1 minute to make an impression to that recruiter. And that recruiter, you will see, will be carrying a paper, and that paper will have certain competency, and he will be judging each and every one of you. Now what happens is, when everybody shouts, some of you, even the brilliant one, you don't respond. Why? Because you think that when everybody is shouting, nobody is going to listen to what my offering is. So it's better I remain calm. But always remember that if you have not uttered a single word, then that particular recruiter in that particular headless group discussion will not be able to allocate any marks to you. So it is your primary responsibility that you become a leader in that case, and you tell to the group that this is the topic, and let's start from the first person, then second, then third, then fourth. Similarly, all 10 of you will give whether you are speaking for or against the topic, and then you as a group leader summarize the whole thing and you tell to the recruiters who have come, and they will feel that here is a management institution who has done a thorough preparation, and they know how to do a good group discussion. Okay, from this, now I take you to the last topic. Many times what happens is that students, after, or as well as experienced candidates, after appearing for an interview, they ask question, or they think that yaar, mera interview to bahut acha hua tha, why I was not selected? means I don't know what was the reason I have not got shortlisted. So here, my dear friends, brothers and sisters, I will tell you this is the power of 6 C's in hiring and selection. The first is, my dear brothers and sisters, it is called credential. Credential is essential, and credential means your percentage of marks in 10th, 12th, graduation, post graduation. The When you are a fresher, this will matter the most. But as and when you grow up the ladder, it will not impact that much. But in good companies, it will still haunt you. Second is caliber. Every interview, your caliber is judged. So first C is credential, second C is caliber. What was your caliber that you displayed in the interview? That plays a very, very vital role. Then comes the culture. Now, many a times what happened is that somebody who is from a very, very open culture goes and appear for an interview in a very, very conservative culture. For example, let's assume there is a company called Make My Trip. Now, Make My Trip is online job portal company. So they have a very, very open culture. They don't go in office in formals. Okay, at times they go, some of them go office in shorts, in jogger shoes, sports shoe. And suppose if that kind of a gentleman is appearing for a very, very formal culture, wherein then in that case, the recruiter, while interacting with him, may find that this person will be a misfit. Why? Because a recruiter knows his company's culture, and if there will be a misfit, then it will be detrimental to both the organization who is recruiting and the person who is applying for a job. And in that case, at times you might not get selected. The fourth is compensation. So in case of compensation for students, please always be very, very serious in this. Whenever you are appearing for any interview, you have already seen the job announcement form, which is published by your training and placement team. So in that particular job announcement form, as well as in the pre-placement talks, the recruiter will tell you that this is the maximum salary they can offer. So never, once you already know about the compensation, never again ask about compensation to the recruiter during the interview. Okay. But if you are an experienced professional, then based on your judicious call, based on your market intelligence, you can quote a compensation which you desire if they ask for you about that compensation. Otherwise, you let them make the first offer to you in case you get shortlisted. Fifth C is commitment. They will see your commitment. They will see how fast you respond. Even after interview, if the offer is sent, how fast you respond, accept the offer. If the recruiter sends you for a pre-employment medical checkup, how fast you respond, how fast you go for medical checkup. If they send you a background verification form, how fast you fill the background verification form, entertain all the people who come to you with respect to the background verification. And sixth is credibility. Many times what happened is that students, they disregard their professors. There are experienced professionals who disregard their bosses, and you don't know that nowadays each and every companies, they do a reference check. They do a reference check, and in reference check they ask your bosses, and they give any slightest of negative remark, and that negative remark can damage, or that can jeopardize your ability for selection. Now I will tell you about we have just another 10 minutes to go, 10-12 minutes to go. So let me tell you about frequently asked question. First is, generally people ask that, tell me about yourself. Now this is a very, very wonderful question. Why generally people ask this question is that even if you are not able to answer any other further technical or domain specific question, you will be at least able to tell about yourself. And while you explain about yourself, the recruiters can gauge that what is your communication skills, how well you are structured, how well you speak, So this is a very, very important question. And if this question is asked, then you thank your stars, because you can, with the help of this question, you can take this interview to the direction you want, the recruiter to ask you further question. Second is, why do you want to work for our company? So if this question is asked by anybody, you have, in my earlier slide, I have already told you that in past you have done the trivia, business trivia, wherein you already know what is the turnover of the company, what is the profit after tax of the company, what are the business model, whether they are international sales, domestic sales, retail sales, e-commerce sales, what kind of product and services they are offering, where all are their branches. You have already done your due diligence of top 10 questions. So, and then you can say that, sir, who would not like to work for a company like you? You are there in the business since last 40 years. Your turnover is this much. You have these many people working for you. This is a wonderful company to work for. Your share market capitalization is this. Now, the moment you will say these 5-6 statements, they will know that this person has done a thorough research about my company, and they will not ask you any further questions. So just do this, just note down these top 10 questions and make a trivia for yourself and do the practice. Then is the next question what they ask is, what are your strengths? Now, always try to write few strengths.
Mr. Ranjan, we again can't hear you.
In front of that, in a note, just write what are STAR, what was the situation, task, action, and result you took, which is enabling you to say that you are an adaptable person. For example, you can say that, sir, in my organization, everything used to happen manually, but I was the person who made automatic system. So the situation was from manual to automatic system transformation. I took the task, I met the vendors, okay, and the result was that we moved from a manual system to automatic system, as a result of which I am an adaptable person. So similarly, hardworking, honest, flexible, you have to use the STAR technique, that is situation, task.
I feel Mr. Nilanjan is again disconnected. I can't see him, I can't hear him. Again, some connectivity issue. Must be trying, I'm sure. Hold on, please, everyone. Please hold on, everyone. He's joining us shortly. There's some connectivity. Yeah, yes. Now I can see him.
Hello.
Yeah, please carry on. Yeah, Mr. Ranjan, I can see you on the screen. Your name appears on the screen. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not able to see. 1 second, sir.
Oh, please carry on. This too will do.
Okay. Okay.
My camera has also stopped working suddenly. Please carry on. Please carry on.
Okay. Yeah. So so this is about strength, and then the other question which companies ask is that, what are your weakness? So what happens is, sometimes people say that I don't have a weakness. Many times, but each and every individual has certain weakness. So you should realize that.
Sir, are you not audible?
I am a very Hello.
Yes.
Hello, is it okay now?
Now it is better. Now it is better. Please carry on.
Okay. So for example, someone will say that I'm a straightforward person. So as a which I have found my straightforward name. Alienating my so so my straightforward nature is alienating my friends. So now what I have done is that I have understood that my straightforward nature is not helping me. As a result of which now slowly and steadily I am changing my behavior, and I am now becoming more and more diplomatic, and I speak only when it is required, and when it is going to make an impact, then only I speak. Otherwise I refrain from giving my straightforward messages. So when you say things like that, then the other person realize that yes, this here is a man, here is a woman who understand his weakness, he has realized it, and now he is slowly and steadily working upon to improve it. And once you do it, then this also act in your favor. So my dear brothers and sisters, with this I rest my presentation for today. In case if there is any question that you have, you may ask.
Yeah, Mr. Niranjan, there are 3-4 questions in the chat box. Would you like to see them, or should I read them out?
Yeah, please read them out, sir, because I am doing from my mobile.
No issue. So here I read the first question from Sakshi Tomar. Sir, may you please help us in understanding the questions for making a trivia? That is 10 questions. That is the question from Sakshi Tomar.
Yeah, so you can write down the things. First is the turnover of the company, the year of incorporation of the company, the business model of the company, the EBITDA of the company, that is earning before income tax, depreciation and amortization. Okay, where all the branches of the companies are there. Okay, so you can, along with your teacher and training and placement head, you can make any 10 questions, okay, which are most relevant, and keep that circulate that question among your friends. And you at the time of the campus interviews, you do research for one company, your other friend will research for the other company, and you interchange the topic, and in this way you can do really well in this. Sir, next question please.
So the next question is from Anjali Tiwari. I just wanted to know, in AI environment, what is the role of AI in the context of recruitment?
In AI, I have already told that in artificial intelligence, right now in India, whatever softwares I have come across are not very, very advanced. They do what these softwares do is that you need at a bulk, in a bulk way, you can upload, hundreds and hundreds of CV together. And this software, they have a backend algorithm. And by virtue of this backend algorithm, this fetches top 10 CVs to you via the match ranking index system. So in match ranking index system, they give weightage to the current designation of the person, the current location of the person, the key skills which you require for the person. And out of, let's say, 100-point scale, the CVs with the maximum, let's say 85, 90% as scores, they are featured on top. As a result of which, you are no longer you have to scroll and see hundreds of CV. You can focus only on those top 10 CVs, and you can interview them, and you save time. So this is how it is helping us. Next question, please, sir.
There's another question from Vinod. What about ATS, which is used by most of the companies?
Yeah, ATS is called Application Tracking System, and ATS helps for movement of CV. From actually, what happens is the moment a recruiter gives a job, it is called a job requisition, a manpower requisition. It is generally made by the company who is requiring for it. For example, purchase requires a person, so somebody from purchase will raise a requisition. Okay, then on top of this, the job will be made live, and people all around India and abroad, they will apply for this position. So all the repositories of CV gets submitted there. Then recruiter chooses it, send it to interview stage, shortlisting stage, offer stage. There are various stage which is made in the application tracking system. Okay, and the hiring manager can take interview, take video call interview through that application itself. Record, if somebody is selected, he can press selected or rejected button. Okay, and it moves from requisition to offer stage, offers to shortlisted stage, and shortlisted stage to appointed stage. So this is how application tracking system helps. It is basically for the help of the recruiter. Yes, sir. Next question, please, sir.
Yeah, the next question is from Shivam Pandey. I want to
Yes,
know about the robot recruitment system. Is it beneficial for the company, and how do we prepare for it?
Yeah, the robot requisition, actually the robot is combination of all these three. First is chatbots, second is artificial intelligence, and third is the application tracking system. Okay, so when you get a message from a company via your WhatsApp, okay, and you are responding, and within seconds you are getting another question and then another question, so you can understand that a chatbot is interacting with you. It is not a human who is interacting with you, because a human will take certain time to write the next question. But if you are getting a response within few nanoseconds, then you can understand that some chatbot is registering your question. When you realize that, you try to make your question, don't write, for example, if you say that I have generated business of let's say 10 crores, so then write 10 crores CORERE, means full crores, not CR, because the chatbot at times don't understand abbreviation. So be very vigilant that if you are getting a WhatsApp message in a very nanosecond, you are getting questions after questions, then you realize that this is a chatbot interview, and you have to be very vigilant in that case. Yes, sir. Next question, please.
We take the last question from Priyansh Khare. Please explain the star concept which you had told in strengths.
Yeah. So, my dear brothers and sisters, the star is called star is a technique. So, what happens is that as and when you will gain experience, the recruiter in various companies will ask you that what are the key achievements in every companies, if you can tell us. So, in order to register your key achievements, you can use the star techniques. First, you will note down somewhere in your notebook what was the situation which is very close to your heart. So you will mention the situation, that is S. Then T is task. What was the task your seniors gave you to overcome that situation? Then is A. A is action. What were the action you took to overcome that situation or to outperform in that situation? And last is, what was the results you got it? So it is called star: situation, task, action, result. What was the situation? What task you performed? What action you took? And what was the result outcome? So this is star technique. Yes, sir. Any other thing?
That was the last question. Very insightful conversation you made, Mr. Nilanjan. Lot many insights. I'm sure our young managers must have got from out of your conversation, out of your delivery. Now I'll request Mr. Arun Mathur, A.K. Mathur, and Mr. Manoj Mahindra, both of them, to say a few words before I request Dr. Anurag Srivastava from SMS to propose a formal vote of thanks. Mr. Mathur, please. Would you like to say something? माथुर साहब आप म्यूट हैं. मिस्टर माथुर आप म्यूट हैं. You are muted. Please unmute yourself, Mathur साहब. Mathur साहब, please unmute. Mr. Mathur, please unmute yourself.
Oh, I have done it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. I think we all agree that it was a very useful talk for the students and very comprehensive. What the companies expect, what the techniques they use, and how they should prepare their CV and they should prepare for their interview. I think in 1 hour here, Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee has covered a lot of ground, and he was very, very clear and concise. I'm sure that everyone benefited. Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur. And I'll request Mr. Manoj Mahindra, if he is there, to say a few words. Director, School of Management Sciences, Mr. Manoj Mahindra, if he is there. So finally, I request. Oh yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Good evening to all. It was a very comprehensive covered session, which was quite informative, especially for the freshers, the students who are going to be making their career very shortly, and especially the new things which are coming up in terms of recruitment and the selection. It was a good insight how exactly the companies actually see the other side of how exactly they have to be well prepared. It was very informative, and we enjoyed each and every word of what Nilanjan Mukherjee had said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marutra. I'll now request Dr. Anurag Shrivastava, academic coordinator from the School of Management Sciences, to kindly propose formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pradhan sir. I just take liberty to speak to students before proposing formal vote of thanks. Dear students, today we have learned a very big lesson. Although Nilanjan sir has delivered a lot on your day-to-day question, what will happen after this course. But what we learned really today is the presentation was started with a PPT, very well prepared PPTs, very energetic speaker, and we enjoyed. Then suddenly this technical glitch came, and many of us were thinking, what will happen now? And after a few seconds, again session was resumed, and it was a much better session without a PPT, because it was directly coming from his heart, right? So we need to learn, if there are no support, still we should do the best. We should put our best foot forward, and you need to grab the attention of the audience with authentic words, right? So this is what I think it should be emphasized today, because we learned a very big lesson right before our session. Now, coming to formal vote of thanks, I would like to really extend my heartiest thanks to Mr. Nilanjan Mukherjee. He took the time from his busy schedule to share his insights with our students. And sir, really, students are struggling this question: what will happen after this degree? What I am going to achieve? So I think this whatever we have discussed today is the answer to this big question, which each and every student is facing. My next thanks goes to Mr. Arun Mathur sir, Mr. Rajiv Pradhan sir, our director sir, Dr. Manoj Mehrotra, Director SMS Lucknow, Mr. Suren Srivastav, General Manager Corporate Affairs, and to all dear students who have participated in this webinar. And again, one more key aspects which we take today. Sir has told in a group discussion, you must utter a word. You should not sit silent. Hence, in these type of webinars, you must put a question in a chat box to ascertain your presence. If you are a silent listener, corporate world will not care for you. You need to make your presence felt. And for that, we need to be very, very aggressive, and we need to put right words. So some of you have taken that chance. You have put the questions, you got the answers. So thank you for that. With this, I extend heartily thanks once again to each and every participant who had participated here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nilanjan. Thank you very much on behalf of LMA also. Wish to see you again, physically, offline. We meet shortly. This is all we pray for that. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pradhan Saab. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Surajji. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nilanjan ji. Everyone, please take care.
Thank you. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.